All right, so I wanted to make two videos. This first one, I wanted to make a video about what I've put on the truck and some of the things that I've spent some money on, mostly off of Facebook Marketplace, a little bit of buying stuff on Amazon here and there, and then some stuff that I've ripped off of my old Sequoia that I had, which you'll see in some of the shorts and stuff on the channel. The other thing that I wanted to run through for the second video is I wanted to walk through the issue that I found with a popping noise after doing some suspension upgrades on the truck. So in part two, I'll basically just get right to the point. It was actually the binding between the steering stops on the spindle and the lower control arms. But I will show exactly what I ran through in the second video, basically show you my full diagnosis, point out like what I looked at, what I tried to find, and what led me to that conclusion. And then I'll actually show you the spindles as well and what damage actually occurred on them. But that'll be for a later video. So before anything else, I'm gonna just walk through some of the stuff that I've done on this truck so far. So that's enough of the talking head part. We'll get to the truck. So the truck is a 2024 F-150 STX. It is the 2.7. I won't try to sell you on getting a 2.7 over a 3.5 or a 5.0. It's fine. It gets decent gas mileage. I'm getting 15.2 with the lift, with cutting the air dam off, and with 35s on the truck. So not terrible, but mostly got the 2.7 because of how cheap it was, and after the fact learned that it's actually a pretty strong bottom end. It can make some good power. So I think if I had extra money, I would definitely go with a 5.0, and if I had a little bit more, I'd definitely go with a 3.5 just for the towing capacity. But this gets what I need done. It tows the boat that I have, which I'll probably do a walkthrough on the boat, some of the things that I've done. It is a 35-year-old boat that I have, but this is basically a 1-year-old truck. I bought it with 3,000 miles. It was one of the CTPs at a local Ford store. But to start out, I wanted to show from the front, I did cut off the air dam and the cowling there and removed the air dam. It's actually sitting up in my garage now. The actual electronic portion just unplugs and sits there. The other thing you'll notice is I do have 35-inch Nitto ridge grapplers on there. I bought those used with 9/32 of an inch of tread wear left for $300. It was actually 280 bucks is what I got those for. So those were dirt cheap. I thought it was a scam, showed up, just waited there for 45 minutes for the guy to show up, and he actually had them. Yeah, very surprising that I was able to get those for that type of deal. But to move on to some of the other stuff that I've done, we will start with the suspension. So not a very good look there, but they are the Rancho Quick Lift. I did start out by doing the spacer lift, which did not ride very well. It actually rode very crappily. But the Ranchos aren't bad. They're also adjustable. Some of the adjustments you can actually see, maybe not on this side, but on the other side, the way that it's facing, you can actually see the adjustments there for your compression. Actually, it's not for rebound apparently on the Ranchos, but it actually does make quite a bit of difference in the ride quality as you tighten them up and loosen them up. I'm so far pretty impressed. I've put about 6,000 miles on them, so they are, you know, doing all right. And actually, to get a little bit of a sneak peek, let's see if I can get this to actually focus. That is the damage to the spindles from them being misaligned to that steering stop there. So yeah, not too bad, but something that was concerning at first. The next thing, did these cheap ass lights from Harbor Freight. Took the antenna off because they interfere here. So the antenna is now just a heat shrink wrapped screw basically that's in there. I did paint the bright green portion of these labels. I didn't like all the bright green everywhere. Couldn't paint this knit stick very well, even after sanding and stuff. So those are black, just hide them a little bit more. But to get onto the other stuff here, so of course I got wrenches back here as well. I think I spent $480 on the entire four corners. So that was dirt cheap, especially to get a 2-inch lift, and it rides better than stock. It's a little bit stiffer than stock, but the ride quality is a little bit better. So the other thing that I installed was airbags. So I did airbags because I do a lot of towing, at least for my boat, and when we were moving, I was hauling some trailers that might have been questionable. But you'll notice down here that actually with this airbag kit, which was only like $200 on Amazon, I've also got these cups that hold the airbag. So now I don't have an issue with down travel that you normally get with airbags because they're not actually attached to the axle down here. So those are supposed to be a lot better for off-roading. And you can see I mounted them in the top position so it doesn't affect my ride height in the back. I can just air these up to try to take a little bit of load off the back. Yeah, pretty interesting. The only downside to the 2.7 is I got a single leaf spring. So not a lot of towing capacity from the factory. The other thing that I have on here, of course, is my rooftop tent and tonneau cover, and I've also got these crossbars there. So I'll kind of just back up and show you the truck with all of that on there. I've also got an awning, but the general gist is this is going to be my Overland build. We do a lot of camping. The tent is actually a OVS Nomadic 3 tent, so it's a queen size bed in a soft top rooftop tent. It's mounted over some Amazon $200 crossbars. The first crossbars that I had, they actually cracked from the vibration, but this OVS tent I got on trade from a guy on Facebook Marketplace for an old Smitty built, one of the Gen 1 tents that was like a full-size mattress. He wanted something a little bit smaller. I wanted something a little bit bigger, so we just traded straight across. It worked out pretty well for me, I think. I got a much more expensive tent. I do have a new cover that's in my messy garage, but the new cover doesn't fit the old tent without having some change in the Velcro and stuff, so I'm waiting on those. OVS is actually sending them to me. It's something that they did for free, actually. I wouldn't hold them to it, but their customer service seems great, and I have no complaints about their tent either. The other thing on the back is the tonneau cover. I got that on Facebook Marketplace for $500. It's an Amazon special one that was like $900 when it was new, but it's the best will. I don't know how to say that. Some Chinese company. It works. It's fine. One thing to note is when installing it, make sure that you do close up the tonneau cover and bolt it down, because my main issue that I was running into was that the tonneau cover was really tight closing and it would not automatically open. So yeah, just a couple things there. So altogether, paid $300 for the wheels, paid $20 originally for these Harbor Freight lights. I think when I got them for the Sequoia, I paid another $20 for the wiring that's in there. I have a switch on the dash, got a trailer brake controller, got airbags, have the cups underneath the airbags, got Rancho coilovers. So the airbags were $200, the cups were like another $40. The Rancho coilovers were just under $500. The crossbars in the back were like $200. Got the tonneau cover for $500. Got the tent, the original tent that I traded for it, I think I paid $700 for. So altogether, for everything that I've done to modify this truck, has been about $2,500, which isn't bad at all. It's a $54,000 truck. I think I've got it for 12 grand off, so not too bad. Definitely can't complain. I have a fridge actually in the back seat, which I'll show you real quick, and got my janky setup with my Jackery. My solar panel's just sitting here, and I've also got a 12-volt battery, so that's for longer trips. The Jackery's for when I'm driving or shorter trips, and it's also something I can just charge with solar there. But yeah, that's really all the truck. I'll go through on the next video and basically tell you about my whole ordeal with the popping in the front suspension, why I ended up having to take off this skid plate there, and some other things that I ended up running into as far as issues in the truck. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. If you have any questions, comments, anything that you wanted to leave, just ask me. I'll ask you about, or I'll tell you about my experience. So yeah, thanks for your time.